Welcome to Learning Forward with Naga, Season 11, Episode 1. I am Anvesha, your podcast host at Learning Forward. Naga Prakasam is a versatile and passionate leader with around 3 decades of global experience. He enjoys growing startups across the country and being a lead angel investor. He has led 16 deals, invested in 25 startups, served 12 boards, seen 6 exits, and 2 write-offs. He's also the author of BackToBharat in Search of a Sustainable Future. He spearheaded impact thinking in Indian Angel Network and co-founded IAN Impact. His personal mantra is, startups should focus on India's strength, people, problems, tech. Back to Bharat in Search of a Sustainable Future is a book that addresses the present economic dilemma for Indian entrepreneurs and consumers, looking at the past and present situation of both India and the developed world to find a way forward. So, sir, just how your mantra is people, problems, and tech, at my good school, our motto is reading, reflections, and relations. So, there's a lot of similarity that we observe as foundations in the visions we serve. We welcome you, sir. So, how did you start the IAN Impact, and which was one of your first investments as an angel investor?
Hi, glad to be here at this podcast. All these young minds out there, I hope some of these should help you to start thinking the world in a sustainable way, because I have a lot of hope for the youngsters to build the future, because all of us who are gray-haired now, we've lost the opportunity. But we believe that you still have an opportunity to take that forward. So coming back to that IAN Impact, my exposure with the other side of India happened in 99. So typical middle class, I go to US, study, settle. So that's what I was. In US, we all love this desi food, right? You long for your home cooked food. So we have the Diwali Mela. So I went to the Diwali Mela, and then one of the stall which was attracted to me, which was Association for India's Development, AID. So the young volunteer who was there, and she said, "Where you're from? Put a pin on India map." So I put pin on Madurai, and she started talking about Arvind Eye Hospital and the project they're supporting and things like that. So I was really surprised and also ashamed to see that the place I grew up, I have no idea about. Right? So this is about reality of many of us, that what is happening around us, we have no clue. I think that gave me a shrewd awakening about the reality of the country and what is happening and what some of the good people are doing. So, and since then, all my weekends are spent in fundraising. We support NGOs in India. We didn't have money back then, so we sell hot dogs and cokes and football matches and raise money, do music concert and stuff. And so that learning was amazing during the process. The movie Swadesh is based on us. The hydro plant, the village is built in that. It was really supported by our chapter in San Diego. We raised funds and we designed those parts, and the people in India had built it. So this gave me a fantastic understanding about the problems, and as well as how technology can be utilized in solving that problem as well. So I came back to India 2006 to run our India operation. I got caught up in my corporate world. 2012, we sold the company, and I said I'm done with all the corporate side of it, because 16 years went from engineer to president of the company. I said no more running. But 8 days really helped me to understand the other part of India. So I was hoping to go back and spend some time on that as well. So that's when I realized some of my friends, one side they went into politics, they want to fix a problem within, and then the other set of people become activists. But long career in a corporate, I realized that when we run an aid agency, so 1 year we raise $1 million and support a lot of projects. Other year we'll do only 500K. But in a corporate, we're able to build a $40 million to $400 million company. So can we bring the efficiency of a corporate and a heart of a non-profit. So I thought I figured out something called social business, right? So that's when I got introduced to a friend, Jacqueline Novogratz in New York. She was with Rockefeller Foundation. She started Acumen with a similar, philosophy that if you give 1 rupee to a non-profit, you'll get 1 rupee worth of impact. But if that product, that service can be offered at, just 1 rupee service, then the beneficiary become a customer. So you're moving a beneficiary into a customer. So it's called aid versus trade. So if I invest 1 rupee in somebody, I can get the money back. I can give that money to someone else, right, who may need the help. But not everything could be a social business. Non-profit still needed. But wherever possible, can we make that? It was an amazing concept. Acumen started funding these kind of ventures across the country, from Uttarakhand, Avni, where a pine needle is converted to energy, and that energy is supplied to the government, where the ground is cleared, removing pine needles every summer. So Himalayan oak and cypress, could grow on the ground, bringing the biodiversity back. And the char will go as a fuel for people living there, so they don't need to cut the trees. So this gave me a fantastic idea about how, Acumen is able to support entrepreneurs coming in with these fantastic ideas. And from Arvind Eye Hospital is another, support that we have provided. So during my tech tenure, I was part of this angel group, Indian Angel Network. We used to invest on tech companies. But after exposed to Acumen, visited many of these projects, I went back to my friends. I said, there is an opportunity for doing good as well. So we chartered Eye and Impact to invest in social business. Social business means that you provide a product or service to a low-income family, or you take a product or service from a low-income family, right? So you provide like electricity, water, clean water, all that to them. Similarly, you will, take a product. What I'm wearing is a handloom. It is a hemp fiber Ayurvestra. So a weaver who made this by hand, but he is living in poverty. He makes 5,000 rupees a month. And so if we take this product and position as a sustainable fashion and sell it as a premium and pass the benefit back as a fair trade, so that is social business. So we launched Eye and Impact with that goal. Today I'm very happy. I have personally invested in 30 plus company, many of them in social businesses. So first investment is called Gramavani. The second is this, what I'm wearing, Go Co-op. It supports weavers, right? Around 24,000 cooperatives in the country. But they make 5,000 rupee a month. So positioning is a sustainable fashion because there is no energy utilized in making this product. This is it is a hemp, and this is a natural dye, so there is no chemical utilized, and it is handmade, so that means that no energy utilized. So that is your sustainable fashion. Today the world is facing climate change and inequality. So that is where through the social businesses I was hoping to solve and build a sustainable future for all of us, and especially for the younger generation like you guys. So that's how the Eye and Impact was born. And we have done now quite a bit of investments, Gramavani, which helps in garment factories and villages, people to share information. We call it a voice Twitter. And neurosynaptic communication that does telemedicine, where 60% of India is living, only 2% of doctors available. So he developed a technology that a 10th pass lady could run a diagnostic center in a village. Then we have a Carbon Master, it converts bio-CNG in organic fertilizer, Sahas that collects waste, and Boson that recycles water. Like this, the list is pretty big. Yeah.
So, sir, like you mentioned about Saha Zero Waste, Carbon Masters, and Boson White Water. So they are basically very interesting projects and portfolios that you've taken up. So if you could elaborate a bit more on them, how did you become a part of these projects, and what are you currently doing with them? What is the next step in these current portfolios?
Yeah, so Sahas, so when I wanted to do the social impactful ventures, Vilma was the first one I met. And because she had started Sahas earlier, and in my corporate side as well, I've seen Vilma in one of the stall. We've introduced her recycled notebooks in our office. So she was the first person I met. So Carbon Master was a non-profit at that time, and it was just we started talking about, how do we create a for-profit version, because not, waste is my problem as well, right? Why my waste should be managed by donor dollars. So that's when my another investment, Satwa Consulting, they work with CSR and NGOs. So Satwa is brought in and to help Sahas to split into a for-profit and non-profit. And so non-profit will take care of a B2B. So this virtual background I am in, it is IMB campus. It's one of the first customer. It's a zero waste campus. So Saga Zero Waste for-profit venture works with businesses, campuses like ours, so that 98% of what produced there, it get recycled. So Saga has a simple philosophy that is a producer pays. Means that today, if you look at, there are a lot of people knock your door and asking for your newspaper, PET bottle, they will pay you money for the waste that they collect. So Sagas went back and said that you created the waste and does not have any value, so you have to pay me to manage your waste. Because most of the people in the country wanting the valuable waste, your newspaper and PET bottle and e-waste, but nobody buys your sanitary napkin, soiled one, soiled diapers, because and your chip wrappers, there is zero value. So these are all the one nobody touches, that contaminates the water bodies. You throw in a grocery bag with an offer and eat an idli in it. A cow tries to eat the idli and chokes and dies. So she goes to the people and say, you pay me, I will manage all your waste. Valuable, zero value, no value, I will manage everything, but you have to pay me. So producer pays. So that concept is very, very unique, because people are spoiled by getting money for their waste. But now she's telling that I'm not going to pay you any rupee, you have to pay me. So that's a game changer in terms of customer education. I think we just celebrated 10 years of for-profit venture. Million tons of carbon dioxide and methane has been arrested, and there is quite a bit of 98 to 19% of what we collect, it gets recycled appropriate. So it goes to the source, right? The IMB campus, it gets segregated every level. So what leaves is it's going to the vendors, right? Segregated waste. So whatever is not able to find a destination, that end up in landfill or into incinerators and cement factories. So that's what Saha's idea is. The goal is about own the waste, which is a very tough thing. Today, that's fancy for people to write app, collect, paper and water bottle. I'll give you some incentives. Wilma says that no incentives, it should be punished. So that means that it's bad for business, right? If you say her motto is about reduce and then reuse and then recycle. So that means if you produce less waste, it's bad for the business. But that is what social business is all about. You're not looking about profit alone. You are looking at people as well as planet. So the lesser waste you produce, that means that she's very happy. She made a major impact in helping people to do that, right? So since IMB pays every waste that manages, then automatically there is an incentive for them to reduce the waste. So all of us need to now carry a water bottle, right? It has your, IMB logo on it. So earlier, we'll all have this water bottles and PET bottles in our tables. So like this, it creates a customer behavioral change as well. So that's what Sagas is going now. Today, 100 plus ton of waste is managed every day. So now the carbon master, now wet waste, Wilma is to make compost. But wet waste, there is a biogas, it's a 100-year-old technology. You put a biomass, put it in an airtight container, you'll get the methane coming out. You can burn it and utilize the cooking. So India had a goba gas many, many years back, it failed. So that's what Som and Kevin figured out, why gobar gas or a biogas failed in India. So they picked up a plant, a poultry farm run by a farmer near the Dudpalapur, and the farmer was burning the gas. There's no use for his gas, but he wants to fertilize. So he sat with them 2 years to identify where is the problem and understood that the discipline, what is going in, need to have every pH value checked. So that was not happening. So he put a discipline in what is going in, and the output started scrubbing. It has H2S, it has moisture, it has carbon dioxide. If you remove all the impurities, the final gas is better than a LPG. So he uses IIT Mumbai technology that removes some of the impurities. The resultant gas is, which is a high calorific value than your LPG. So today in Koramangala, we have done a plant The entire Koramangala waste is converted into bio-CNG. It goes to an Empire restaurant nearby, and then organic fertilizer goes to the farmer in Kolar. So now the organic fertilizer go to the farmer as well. My another investment, Lumiere Organic. So they also takes the organic fertilizer. They have a farm in Tali. That's what I put out a note. The waste I throw out at IMB, in my kitchen, food waste, that goes to carbon master, collected by Sahas, goes to carbon master, converted into bio-CNG. That may be cooking the food that I'm eating in a restaurant. The organic fertilizer goes to Lumiere, and the papaya reaches my home, grown in my waste. So this is what a circular economy is. While ordinary citizens complain about what can I do, look at these 3-4 entrepreneurs came together solving this problem amazingly well. So that's the thesis behind how these guys are building a circular economy, solving, supporting people, planet, and profit as well.
Right, sir. So where does Boston whitewater come into play amidst all of this?
So now if you look at, waste is now very well understood, and people are now segregating. Segregation is a law. But my next focus went on to water, right? So if you look at, this year we have a bad monsoon. I'm sure very soon, if this continues, we're going to have a problem with water, because Bangalore draws water from Kaveri. And if the Bangalore is growing, every day, we have 12 million people in the city right now. There is a Kaveri phase 5 is going on. The more water we take from the dam in Mysore, and there's less water for the farmer in Mandya, and the less water for the farmers in Tamil Nadu. So every one bad rain, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka get into trouble, right? You'll see that Bandh happens in Karnataka, cities get shut down and all that stuff. So, and that's what Vikas tried to solve. There are 3,500 apartments in Bangalore, and everybody need to, have a zero discharge community, but nobody follows that. So Boson figured out, because it costs a lot of money, he developed a system, it cost 30 lakhs. He puts the system in an apartment, and he went for no cost for the apartment. He takes that STP water comes from them, which is bad, because STP water, it is not recycled properly. It gets into the drain water, the storm water drain. And then we saw that Vartur Lake foaming a few years back because of these extra detergent from your washing machine, and every apartment get collected in a lake. So this is what, his system takes the STP water, filters it with 11-stage patented system technologies, and the resultant water, you can drink the water, right? I drank the STP water, right? So what you flush, you can drink the water. And so that's the level of high quality water that he makes, and he sells the water. If the apartment wants, some other apartment buys the water back from him and use for flushing, they're using for swimming pool. And if they don't want, the industry want it, if they're used in cooling towers, in malls, and high quality water required in industries, he supplies. So like this, if 3,500 apartments, all of them uses Bosun water, we don't need a Kaveri phase 5, where government is spending 5,000 crores and pulling extra water from Kaveri as well. So we have enough water that we are wasting today. So if we reclaim, recycle all the water, and we can become more efficient, so that Mandya farmer and Tanjavur farmer need not fight for the water, because as we grow, we take more and more water. So they're very soon planning to start launching India's first branded recycled water. Singapore has something on new water, and people drink recycled water. So in India, we have still stigma. I'm sure that will change, because the more and more water scarcity comes, and people will start managing the very, very valuable resource, which is water, very, very efficiently. Yeah.
Absolutely, sir. So one big question with entrepreneurs these days is that we see SaaS companies start quickly and move to the USA. That is well established now, but startups that solve big problems in India find it hard to generate money out of the country. So how do startups counter that problem?
Yeah. So there are 3 kinds of startups, right? I've written in my book as well. This first category is the copycats. They fall into that first category where there's a trending sector. So you'll see a trending sector in e-commerce happened in 2015. There are 85 e-commerce companies started. A lot of money came in. but e-commerce started in 2000, right? It took 15 years for us to catch on. But only one company survived, right? The rest of them all die. So every trending sector, there'll be one or two company can sustain. The rest is very struggle. So at that time, people say asset-light model. Now, Elon Musk made the electric vehicle popular. Now look at the electric vehicle, happening. People are buying electric vehicle. Assets are being spent. So this is a trending sector. Somebody invests and experiments, fail. When they succeed, these entrepreneurs copy those models and then bring it to India. So which is a trending sector, which attracts money, which attracts people as well who can go back to US, because 99% of money in VC investment comes in the later stage, right? Above, say, like 500, 600 crore level, all come from US. There is no Indian funds happening. So those investors understand only the US models. So that is why those are all hot sectors. Then the second category, what I call, is about playing on India's strength, right? I call India's strength is problems. You have thousands and thousands of problems around us. You pick one problem and bring technology. Technology doesn't mean Bangalore definition of technology, which is an app. I'll tell them that 200 million people live in extreme poverty. They say, sir, we'll write an app to track all of them, right? So means that you apply physics, chemistry, biology, whatever you're learning, apply that science, technology, solve that particular problem so that it can scalable. And then, if every Indian pays you 1 rupee, you are a 140 crore company. So that is what I call is about playing on India's strength. So this is not a trending sector that takes time. So most of my investments, social businesses fall in this sector, in this space. It took a lot of perseverance. It took 20 years for Wilma to figure out the waste management problem. But all the entrepreneurs working in social business, they are fighters. They have a lot of perseverance. They never give up. But this first category is about copycat, right? They write a copy and then write. If it does not work, they'll go get a job. But people in the second category, they will spend years and years. Now we all know Swachh Bharat, but one of our investment, Gramalaya, had a guardian. So Gramalaya started 35 years back. Imagine a 20-year-old like you guys out of college going and telling their parents, I'm working in, toilets. And that was 35 years back. That was a 20-year-old Damodaran. Started now he's like 55, 56. Last year, Government of India recognized him as a Padma Shri Award. It's a toilet man of India. What Swachh Bharat started few years back, that was built by him many, many years back. So it took 35 years for him to, tell the whole country that this is a problem. So now he says, I'm very happy now government picked up. So this is what happened in the social business side. When you have a purpose is clear, there is money comes to you. Like, so for Damodaran, Matt Damon, the Hollywood actor, comes in a charter plane to Tiruchi to meet Damodaran because he supported his initiative from US through his non-profit called water.org. And Damodaran sits in NDTV along with Amitabh Bachchan, raises money. So this is a myth that, this sector, may not be high fly like the first category, but these are all solid businesses built on solid fundamentals. They do very, very well. They don't fall into the typical game of, grow fast and, exit and all that. They spend a lot of time to solve that problem. Telemedicine, 60% of India lives in rural where 2% of the doctors are available. And 90 investors said no to Samir and Rajiv. They are students of Indian Institute of Science. They developed a technology 20 years back to do a video conferencing from a village to somebody in doctorate city. So with the IIT Madras, right? So that's the level of advanced thinking you have. So today we are in the Zoom call with this 5G, 4G network, but 20 years back, there is no Gs. At 64 kbps, we had a video conferencing. So that has the IIT Madras developed a reversed technology to make the video con work in as low as possible because 25% of India has a proper internet access. INITSA put out a survey last year during pandemic said 25% of Indian household have internet access. 75% of household does not have internet access. But every small village, you'll have one BSNL line branch. I think telemedicine, Samir works in that. So during pandemic, the vision he had, took shape. And people are calling him about how to build telemedicine company. And he is now doing very, very well because now people understood the need for it. We saw that how people are struggling, whether you are rich or poor, everybody was struggling during this pandemic. So they realized the need for telemedicine because somehow using this technology of neurosynaptic, one doctor sitting in Madurai runs the seven telemedicine centers, as far as 150 kilometers away. So that's the beauty of how these guys are using technology to solve. So my thing is about social businesses is like a beauty pageant, right? When the lady wants the Miss World, they'll put the tiara and ask her that, what do you want to do with the life? And she'll say, I want to save the poor. Next year she's in Bollywood. So that's why it's more glamorous. A lot of people come in, but its staying is very, very less. The people who stay and they do amazing things. I have 30 plus stories like this, but mentioned in my book, that how these people are persevering and building a sustainable future for us.
Absolutely, sir. So getting to know about your investments, your decisions, and life values was amazing. However, amidst all of the investments you made, how were you inspired to write the book? Was it because you wanted to share the stories with a larger audience, or what set up that spark for you?
So the theme idea came when I was in Kozhikode. So near Kozhikode, there's a place called Ariyakode. So I went to see an entrepreneur. I don't believe in PowerPoint. I travel a lot. I want to see in problems in real life and people who are solving in person. So that'll teach me a lot. Otherwise, I'll become an armchair advisor. So I've traveled across 28 states, every nook and corner across the country. So I visited Shamil, who built this machine to climb the coconut trees, because Kerala, which is rich in coconuts, today farmers are giving up coconut because the less and less people are climbing coconut trees. Because the more you are educated and they don't want to be in agriculture, so they feel ashamed climbing coconut trees. Shamil developed a machine that anybody can climb a coconut tree and cut coconut. So I went to saw his innovation, and then nearby there's a place called Kapad. Kapad is where the place Vasco da Gama landed in 1498. So we visited that beach, and I was wondering, right, in the same spot a few hundred years back, how it would have been. There's no internet, there is no telephone. India was doing amazingly well. Somebody heard about it, they risked their life, traveled thousands and thousands of miles, risking their life, and then came to us. Looking at, wow, what is this place called India, and doing all this wonderful thing. So that is what I thought, that the idea of Back to Bharat happened because, we seems to have a nice, glorious past. I think there is a saying that by end of 1700, India contributed on 23% of global GDP. And we saw our architecture, in Maslow's theory, once you have roti kapda makan, you will think about the next level. So if we have built this amazing architectural wonders across the country, that means that country was prospering. So we are looking at the next level in culture, art, music, and everything, right? So that is what my thought was, that is Bharat can give us solutions to the current problems. So that is where the thread started coming in, because the world has climate change and inequality, and we cannot copy a model that that's happening in the US and elsewhere in the Western world, because that models are not working. So it is hurting the planet, and it is also not brought everybody out of poverty. There is a movement happening in the US called Rest of Us 1%, because the 99% is the rest. 1% is owning 50% of US population. The entire world's worth, 50% of the world worth is owned by few people. You can put them in a one bus. So that is what the Western model has created, a big inequality gap. Plus, it hurt the planet. So that model cannot be copied. So we had a glorious past, and we are seeing the current present, which is not great, to learn from the Western world. So that means there is a way we need to build the country without copying, the Western world or any other models. So that is why I was thinking about the Bharat maybe offering solutions, because in India, 1.4 billion people, all we talk about is this 250 million, right? I always say in my sessions that we are ignoring the 1 billion, which is the Bharat. So, right, all these problems, the people are working around for the top 250 million people. The bottom 1 billion is being ignored. So that is Bharat. So can we go back to the Bharat, and start looking at what problems we can solve, and can we, when we bring them about, can we build them sustainably. So that is why I brought this theme as well in terms of climate change. Today Elon Musk makes $1 billion selling carbon credit. What about 9 million weavers we have, right? So they're all making sustainable fashion. There are millions of farmers making organic farming. So what about their carbon? Calculate the carbon of somebody living in Dantewada in a tribal belt in a thatched roof house. Calculate my carbon, your carbon, somebody living in London and New York, and this person living sustainably, but we are calling them a poor, right? So I'm sure these days camping is popular. People go camp in a place, no electricity, nothing for a couple of days. But people living in this tribal belt in a forest, they're living in camping for 365 days. We call them stupid. We tell them, come out, learn, be like me, go there for once a week in a year, it's good. But if you live there for 365 days, you are poor. So what is this development? Who created this thought process? Because US GDP is 7 times bigger than India today, but their per capita income is 6.8 times more than India, right? So US GDP is 7 times more than India, but their per capita emission is 6.58 times more than India. If carbon is a new gold, who is rich? So that is where the second thought about the Back to Bharat is, Bharat has a solution for a sustainable living. Many in the Bharat are living sustainably, we call them poor. And we tell them that you consume more, you become like a Western world. Once you become spoiling the planet, then we'll start figuring out how to fix it. So the world is celebrating people who are fixing the problem, like Elon Musk, who is fixing the problem. Right? We burn the fossil fuel, we put a hole on ozone layer. Now going electric car, we think that it solved the problem. So the person who is fixing the problem, we are celebrating. But what about people who are preventing the problem? Right? A tribal person living in a very simple life, he does not have all these gadgets and wooden tables and mats and your carts, beds, nothing. Right? But we take his wood and we live comfortably in here, but he lives simply. So that simplicity should be celebrated, right? So that's what the Eastern world is. We were always self-contented, what Buddha and Gandhi was talking about. The whole world is enough for everyone's need, but not for everyone's greed. So today, but in Western world, we have this movie called Greed is Good. It's a Wall Street movie. It's a very popular movie. So this is where an opportunity for us to look at the Bharat, the simple living, the Eastern style of self-contented way we are doing. It provided an opportunity. When we started the thread, there are more and more solutions started emerging. Right? I went to see a project in Meghalaya, in East Garo Hills. So they follow matrilineal society. Right? Today in India, majority of them, we are patriarchal society. So matriarchal society means that a husband get married and move into the wife's house. Right? In East Garo Hills, the head of the village is a woman, and the youngest daughter in a village will inherit the property. The eldest will take care of the responsibilities. So she decides that today we talk about women empowerment. We are talking about the world's largest democracy, US, oldest and large democracy, never had a women president. But in East Garo Hills, we have a panchayat president running the village for thousands and thousands of years. So that's what, again, Bharat is giving a solution for today's problem. Matriarchal society is being followed even now, right? And then this village head will decide which part of the village they're going to cultivate that year. They'll clean up, they'll grow vegetables, all this agriculture activity. After a few years, they'll leave it for fallow, for the forest to grow back. They'll go to the other part. This is called June cultivation. Today, we are calling it as a regenerative agriculture. So thousands of years, the tribals have been following that. So that is what Back to Bharat also is, that, the Bharat has fantastic solutions for this world, which has, two problems on equality and the climate change. And looking at these models, there is quite a lot of solutions already available. How do we start going back living like that is where an opportunity is to build a sustainable future. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, sir. It was a great pleasure to have you here. Back to Bharat is an inspiring reminder that change is possible and that this is a moment to be a part of the change, for it will take all of us with it. And with that, we come to the end of our podcast. Comment below and let us know if you liked our podcast. If you want to be a part of similar podcasts, join us. We hope to meet you soon again.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here. Back to Bharat.
We are here at my good school. Things here are so cool. Together we learn, together we create, together we meditate. Everyone is welcome. Teachers here are awesome. We learn good values, we learn many skills. We soar above the hills. Let's shout it out, hey, let's all be proud, hey, hats off to my good school. Just what we need, hey, for us to succeed, hey, are all here in my good school.